Hello, brothers and sisters. Just coming back with another message, and this message is Nourish the Spirit. So, I'm just going to base this a little bit off of my walk, because I've been walking this walk for 7 years now. And I started when I was 31 and 38. You have to understand that I was walking 31 years of feeding the flesh. Not once did I feed the spirit. So you have to understand that you're a spiritual being having a human experience. Your flesh and your spirit needs to be balanced. When something is out of balance, it affects you, especially the inner you. A lot of us have been malnutrition. We've been not nourishing our spirit. We've been neglecting it, and it needs to be nourished. So we have to start giving it attention and loving on it and coming and healing the inner us, because we don't understand that affects the out of us, the way we present ourselves, the way we walk out here, the way we love, the way we do everything in life. Our inner self has to be healed. And we haven't been neglecting it all our lives. It's people that's been here probably 60 years and they have not done any spiritual work. They have not sat with God. They don't know who He truly is. They have not healed their traumas from childhood to adulthood. They have not forgiven people. They have not went through the proper steps like Jesus taught us to go to heal. And so all the hurt and pain, you see it in them daily. They're not happy. They're living a miserable life. And it all has to do with what they went through and how they let it sit on their soul without healing it. And we have to nourish it, just like we have to nourish our flesh. We have to eat, we have to drink, we have to bathe, we have to do all these things to our flesh. So imagine the nourishment you need to give your spirit. And he kept saying this to me because I was just watching. He was just showing me video after video of people going through trauma. And a lot of people thinks that the way women choose men or the way men choose women has to do with they're making the wrong choice. They need to choose better. And they think it has something to do with the way a man carries himself fleshly. And this is incorrect. And he kept saying they need to heal. They need to heal. And I'm knowing this because I had to go through this. And I've seen this in my ex-husband and my, now husband. So it's like seeing these things and going through this with them and myself and helping people. I see it, and I know it when I see it. So it's like when you sit there all those years and you do not sit there and take accountability and you repent for your sins and you sit with God and you let Him show you all the things like soul ties, closing contracts with people. All these times you laid up with all these people, but you never forgave them. You never closed the soul contracts with them. You never went through the proper steps to heal you in the inner you. It's going to affect everything that you do. Everything. The way you date, the way you pick women, the way you pick men, the way you do everything in life. When you are a healed person and you are in the spirit, and you have the wisdom and the knowledge and the spiritual, and you're no longer spiritually ignorant, God can show you so much. And those gifts that's been held back because of the blockages of hurt and pain and unforgiveness and all this thing, because that's what it does. It blocks you from your spiritual gifts. When you do start seeing yourself gain these spiritual gifts, you prosper in life, You understand why Jesus told you to forgive your enemies and let Him fight your fights. Exodus 14:14. Be at peace and let Him fight for you. You understand why He says these things, because these are things that you cannot control, but He can. But you can control doing the will of God and doing your purpose. You understand, once you start to heal inner, you understand how these people blocked you because you had unforgiveness in your heart, or how you hurt other people because of your unforgiveness, because you were so worried about you and your ways, and you thought by doing it a fleshly way, revenge or whatever the case may be, that held you back from, and that might have hurt other people as well as you. So this is why it's very important to nourish the spirit, because when you don't nourish the spirit and the soul, then it can block you from what you thought you let go. And God will show you that you never let certain things go. You never walked away from things. You never forgave certain people for certain things because you didn't understand them. He's the only person that can get you to understand everything that happened to you. And you have to understand everything that went on in your life. You're not a victim. It happened for you, not to you. You know, it just made you become the better version of you. When you look at it that way, then you're not held back. But when you have a victim mentality, you are held back. This is also a blockage. So these are the things that you learn as you're walking with him. He teaches you so much. He teaches you how to let go and let him heal you and become who you need to be to not only help you and better you, but you take these things and you go help other souls that are going through the same exact thing. 90% of people that are on YouTube, that are so-called gurus, that are for relationships, they are wrong. They deal with everything of the flesh and looks and physical. They don't deal with the spirit, the soul, what really matters, what really attracts our partners, what really brings us to our purpose. They don't deal with those things. They deal with everything in the flesh because they think we're human first, and that's incorrect. So this is why, even though they go through them, they still cannot find love. They still cannot find who they are. They're still unhappy, no matter if they go through a therapist or go through a psychologist. If they're not, you dealing with the spirit and healing them within, it's not going to work. You know, so we have to be careful with listening to people online that's saying, you know, this is why you can't get a man. This is why you can't get a woman. This is this. People, you already have a partner. You just have to heal first. When you heal and learn that love starts with you first, and only person that has unconditional love that can teach you what the true definition of love is God, then your partner will come in. You know, when you understand that it's not the way you were taught, that is conditional, that is transactional, that love has all these bounds, and that's not the way marriage is. The covenant is through God, the proper way. He shows you the proper way of being a wife and a husband and all these things. When you understand that's who you have to go through to understand who you are, then you will get it right. There will be no divorces if we all went through the covenant the correct way with God. But because we do everything worldly, because we think we're human first, this is what happens. You know, we marry the wrong people for the material stuff that they have, our fears, you know. And it was one thing this man said the other day, and I love his stuff. I think his name is Jason. He said men never marry the woman that they want. They marry the woman that they, you know, you may have a need for because of fear. You know, the woman you want is gonna help you. She's gonna help you grow. You know, that's what I seen with my husband. When I asked for who he was, I seen that he pushed me to grow and become the better version of myself. The woman that you want, and you know, she's gonna help you become the partner that God you chose when you were there with God. That person is going to help you grow into the best version of yourself. And she's going to accept everything about you. If you have a past, and that past is you may have a lot of baby mamas, a lot of baby daddies, a whole bunch of kids, a whole bunch of things that you did in the flesh, they will not care. This love is a love that, you know, the love that God gives us. We sin, we've been disobedient, but he has kept giving us chances. John 3:16. He loved the world. He gave his only begotten son. He gave us his son to give us a second chance because he loved us so much. This is the love you get from the partner you chose with God. And that love they will never give up on you. This love doesn't give up on you, just like God never gives up on you. This is the love you receive. And so that's why you have to understand, when you nourish the spirit, imagine the way the light shines on the outside of you when people see that you have healed and became this better version of yourself. They're going to see that light on you. And of course, that's going to attract your partner or any other person for that matter, because they gravitate towards that healing, towards that version of who you become and who you are, so that's what you have to understand. That's why it's so important to nourish who you are inside just like you do on the outside. It needs to be balanced. You need to give it just as much attention as you do with the physical. It cannot be more physical nurturing than spiritual. So I had to say that because he just kept pointing out stuff, and then I just seen so many problematic things that we keep saying and we thinking that we're helping people, but we're actually, when we are in the flesh talking and trying to give advice, we're making it worse. The only person that can lead you to truth is God. He is truth and light. No one else is. So all the worldly stuff that we consider knowledge and wisdom is ignorance. Is not who we are. So it's going to keep us going in a circle. And I did this when I was in the world, trying to find who I am, listening to gurus and all this. And I'm like, okay, I'm listening to this, I'm doing this, and it's not changing nothing. It wasn't changing because I was still that same person within. I still had that trauma. I still had that stuff I needed to work on within me first in order for everything on the outside to start coming to pass that I wanted. And I had to realize that once I start working on the enemy, my husband, all the things start, showing up. So that's what people have to understand. This stuff will chase you once you do the inner work. The gifts will start coming out of nowhere. You will start prospering in every area of your life once you understand that. So I just wanted to say that. Much love and all praises to the Most High.